Coming up on The View.
This election is not about age, but it's about character. So you have two choices. You have my husband, Joe, who you all know, who has integrity. He's strong, he's steady, he's a leader, he's smart, he's energetic. Or you have chaos. And my husband's, and you're going to see how smart he is and the experience he has. I believe that Americans are going to choose good over evil.
Okay, so, Madam First Lady, respectfully, it's very bold of you to sit here and talk about good and evil, given your husband has demonized half of the country and continues to do so while prosecuting his political opponent. Now, Joe has been in politics for 48 years, including his presidency. Yet you have nothing to show for. Otherwise, you would have spent your time here talking about his actual accomplishments instead of saying empty words. And finally, I agree. This election is not about age. It is about being able to walk without getting lost. It is about being able to find your way off a stage. It is about being able to go up and down the stairs without falling. It is about being able to finish a sentence, all of which Joe is not able to do on a daily basis. I have seen it. People out there have seen it. Even Whoopi has seen it. I wish you were honest about it. And most importantly, you have seen it. We all know Joe is not well. We all know he's not in control. And listen, I'm not a fan of his, but I would say you should be ashamed of yourself for putting him through this and letting his handlers abuse him like a puppet. Shame on you.
Hey, I like that guy. Live from Times Square, it's That Kevin Show.
Somewhere in the bowels of the city that never sleeps,
Kevin McCullough, radio host with Salem Media,
is a man also not sleeping.
Syndicated radio talk show host Kevin McCullough.
And that guy would like a word with you.
Many of you know him from as Votes
Of course that Kevin show is going to be great. The only thing that could be greater, of course, would be that Donald show. But we don't have that, so we have that Kevin show.
Featuring the music of Dick Tunney and the Dream in Color Orchestra. The good doctor who made housing calls. Ben Carson, MD. She's telling the truth about men and girls sports. Peyton McNabb. Sketch comedy tonight from John B. Christ. And a little bit of a view from Damon Imani. And Lainey Wilson in the spotlight. And now, from Times Square, where he never gets carded because he's recognized like Timberlake. Nope, he just looks old. Here's the... Old, huh? Leave it to you to say that it's old. Let David say what he's going to say. He does this all the time. He says the most ridiculous things. I'm supposed to come out and play along. Next thing you know, he's gonna claim that I took a date to a Botox clinic in Times Square or something. It's crazy. Welcome to the weekend. Kevin McCullough, very glad to have you with us. I am so glad to have you here for a couple of reasons. One, we get a presidential debate this coming week, and that's going to be crazy. I mean, it's going to be off the hook. Can you imagine? And there's a couple of reasons why I think that this is going to be kind of fun. But you've got Joe Biden, who, God bless him, he can't stand up for more than 5 minutes. Did you see it? You saw him in Italy. He tried to walk away from the group. And no. The Italian prime minister has to go over and kind of be his mom, pull him back in there. Kind of crazy. And like in the cold open, you got Jill Biden out there trying to convince people that he's just full of energy and normal. There's nothing about this man that looks normal. Did you see when just this last week, he was sitting in the Oval Office, And the reporters began to shout questions at him because when he's sitting, not in the Oval Office, in the West Wing, and when he's in the West Wing, they lob questions and hope that he'll answer. Did you see how he responded? This is actual footage of the actual sitting president of the United States, the leader of the free world, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look. That is nuts. I wouldn't let my grandfather come out and be around the family if he acted like that. If we would make sure that, you know, if it was our great uncle, that he had a nice, safe place to be so that he didn't harm himself. That's the man that wants to convince you that he is ready to lead the world, and he's in an aggravated fashion mocking the press corps who are just doing their job. Their job is to be there and to ask the president questions. That is astoundingly horrid in the eyes of the world, in the eyes of the American voter, in the eyes of his family. Why are they continuing to do this to him? My colleague, Mike Gallagher, and I got to admit, he's been saying this from the beginning. He is totally convinced that Joe Biden's not going to be on the ticket when they actually get done at the convention and go forward with the election. He's totally convinced it's going to be someone else. How can you let that, what I just played for you, play it again? How can you let that be the representation of America on the international stage? That is frightening. But his policies are equally frightening. And the way he shut down American energy has just been, I feel like it's been a crime against our economy, against our people, against jobs, against everything. Because when he killed the Keystone Pipeline, when he said that American domestic energy is bad and that we need to go to all solar and wind power, which are not renewable, by the way. They like to call them renewable. They're not renewable. Once the wind is blown, it's blown. It won't blow again. There'll be new wind that blows. But there's only additional sources of energy. They're not renewable sources. But I do want you to pay attention to a new sponsor that I have. They're called oilfacts.com. And if you have a stake in this whole energy discussion, if you and your friends sit around and have a glass of wine and you're talking about, you know, things that are important to you, and you say, you know what, I think we should probably not give up on the sources of energy that we have while we develop the new sources of energy that we have, which is the opposite of what this administration, they came in and wanted to kill all of the old energy. And then they found out that they couldn't, so they started importing it from our enemies, Venezuela and Iran and other places. We're getting our oil from places that we don't need to get it from because we have more of it than anybody else. And we can make America rich. We can help our allies get resourceful energy at a good price that's going to beat Russia and the mullahs in Iran. And by the way, we're going to do a lot of good for the earth. Oil is not the villain that it's been made out to be. And I want you to go to oilfacts.com and see for yourself exactly what it means. Oilfacts.com, and see for yourself. One last thing I want to touch base on before we go to our first break. We are now up against a 7-day ticking clock. We have 7 days to save 16 human slaves. 7 days to just save one life at a time and get them all out of northern Sudan with Christian Solidarity International. Our goal for this first half of the year was 104 women, and we've taken care of all of them except these final 16. I need your help. 888-342-8255. 1010. 888-342-1010. Or you can go to bringherhome.org. But we've got these 16 women's names. We have a liberation that is around the corner. We want to effectuate their liberation, and we need you to help us in this endeavor. 888-342-1010. 888-342-1010. By the way, we're going to match every gift that's given tonight. So please be as generous as you can and make that gift right now. 888-342-1010. 888-342-1010. 888-342-1010. Help a woman find freedom. $250 gives her everything she needs to start her life over again. And once she's free, she's going to have her own life, her own food, her own way of supporting herself. And your $250 gift does all that. 888-342-1010, 888-342-1010.